When you first find out that you have ADHD, it can be a little confusing and nerve-wracking. ADHD, or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, can cause problems in many different areas of life. Millions and millions and millions of children and adults all over the world are diagnosed with ADHD. That's a lot of people, so you are not alone. Myths, mysteries, and misinformation surround ADHD. However, we know it's more than just inattention, impulsivity, and poor organization. People with ADHD have deficits within areas of executive function that can affect them in many other ways. Let's take a closer look. Imagine what it takes to film a movie. There must be lights, actors, props, and scenery, and a camera. In order for the action to come together, someone has got to call the shots and be the boss, a director. A director on a movie set does what executive functions do in the brain: the ability to plan, organize, prioritize, sequence, manage time, and problem solve are just some of the skills needed to complete a task. But for the person with ADHD, the executive functions are not fully operational all the time. It's as though their director keeps falling asleep. ADHD is not a lack of skill or knowledge. Just like on the movie set, the actors, props, and lights are all there, but with a snoozing director, how can the project all come together?
EF! I simply cannot work like this. Please wake up!
Okay. Let's see what we've got so far.
When the director's awake, he can look through the camera to play the scene back. People have an internal camera in their brain, which lets them see how their actions affect themselves and those around them, in order to make sure their behavior is appropriate for the situation they are in.
Who put their dirty fingers on the camera?
Oops! Sorry, boss.
I gotta stop falling asleep.
There are lots of things you can do to wake up your director, clean your camera lens, and increase your confidence as you go through life. Succeed! Don't just survive.
ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. The symptoms fall under two main categories: inattention and hyperactivity impulsivity. Kids with ADHD act without thinking, are hyperactive, and have trouble focusing. They may understand what's expected of them, but have trouble following through because they can't sit still, pay attention, or attend to details. Of course, all kids, especially young ones, act this way sometimes, especially when they're anxious or excited. The difference with ADHD is that the symptoms are for a longer period of time and happen in multiple places or settings. The symptoms can make it hard for the children to function socially, academically, and at home. The good news is that with proper treatment, kids with ADHD can learn to successfully live with and manage their symptoms. Signs and symptoms can include apparent listening problems, avoidance or dislike of tasks that require mental effort, tendency to lose things like toys, notebooks, or homework, distractibility, excessive talking, fidgeting or squirming, difficulty remaining seated, and much more. At some point, you may ask yourself, do I have ADHD? As of right now, there's no test that can determine if someone has ADHD. A diagnosis depends on a complete evaluation. Many children and adolescents diagnosed with ADHD are evaluated and treated by primary care doctors, including pediatricians and family practitioners, but your child may also be referred to one of several different specialists. Having ADHD does not make you any better or worse. Everyone learns differently, and everyone has a hard time staying on task sometimes. ADHD is not an excuse for anything. It is just good to understand it in order to make our classroom better focused for every student. We have to understand how every student learns best. Do you know someone with ADHD? Yes, you do. I have ADHD. I was officially diagnosed at the age of 20, but it was fairly well known long before that by the people around me. Does that make me seem different than before? Nope, I'm exactly the same person you knew before. Now you just know that there are some things that might help me focus better. So why is this all so important? ADHD is one of the most common behavior disorders, affecting 8 to 10% of school-age children. That means if there's 1,000 kids at your school, 80 to 100 of them have ADHD. I want to help all of you do your best. We want to make sure that our classroom helps everyone to learn in the best environment that they can. By learning about different types of learners, we can gain new tools that help be focused, be involved, and succeed. I want all of you to be informed and knowledgeable about ADHD so that you can be better equipped to be understanding of differences. And lastly, I want to prepare you all at an early age for future differences and diversity that you'll experience later in life. So, what do we do now? How do we help? Some use medication, but that doesn't work for everyone. Some helpful tips in the classroom are planning a study schedule in advance, taking breaks, using your strengths, making it fun, using tools, and most importantly, figuring out what works best for you.